Not too long ago, I made a ebook about 5 secret ways a woman can attract a man. And I just go over the ebook and read the ebook in its entirety. So those who are listening or want to get this ebook could really see exactly what this is about. There's a big difference in men and women. It is a norm for men to see a lady that they like, walk up to her, and ask her out. Sometimes as a man, you get rejected, and sometimes you get lucky. That's a normal male instinct, right? Men can relate to this. When it comes to our ladies, it is different. I once overheard a bunch of ladies chatting, talking about a man that they really liked, but never talked to them. They never even tried to tell a guy that they were interested in them because women aren't wired like that. If only guys could read their minds, it would be all better if that was the case. But us as men, we can't read the minds of women. So we have to worry about and pay attention to their body language and the way they react towards us and our movements when we're around them. Well, this write-up was written to give women out there a way out. Maybe you have this guy you liked for a while. You always meeting him in the coffee shop every morning. Sometimes you even go to the coffee shop, not because you're interested in getting coffee, but because you're interested in meeting that man. You went there just to take a look at him. Maybe he might notice you that day. But you went there because you wanted to be around him and be around his presence. Why can't women ask guys out? Most guys ask that question. Why is it so hard for a woman to let a guy know she likes him? My answer to the question is simple. It is by nature. We all know that there are some norms in the world. Men are stronger than women. They exercise more control. They show more confidence. Men are mostly leaders and so are many more. All of these contribute to the reasons why women don't feel the need to ask a guy out. Most women feel that when they open up about their feelings, they can be taken for granted. They want a man to be responsible for his actions and not the other way around. That's the one reason why even if a woman likes you, she won't tell you. She expects you to find out through the way she acts. My last simple reason why I feel women don't open up about their feelings is that they are mostly shy. Unlike guys, ladies are not that bold. They mostly bottle up their feelings because they do not want to be embarrassed. But men don't care. When they see, they follow, and if they are rejected, they'll move on. So basically, women do not know how to open up, unlike men. But to increase the odds in their favor, they throw signs of affection towards the guy that they like. Sometimes it might be fortunate for them that the guy noticed and he is sensitive enough. Most of the time, the guy has no idea. There is one thing some girls do to get the guy that they like. I detest. They do one thing that I detest as a man. I mean, it pisses me off. Some women literally throw themselves at a guy they cherish, sometimes irrationally. Most reasonable guys don't like it. They might just play along just to get down with her. Well, there's always exceptions to every rule. As a lady, try to avoid that. That's why this content was created. Here, I'm going to go over 5 secret ways a woman can attract a man. So let's dive in. Be attractive. First things first. Before you could get a man, you need to attract him in your own way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should act fake, borrow, or look. all different for who you really are. That's why I'm emphasizing in your own way. Why is this so important? You don't want to give the wrong impression about you because the real you will soon erupt. You can't hide from who you are. So be attractive, dress beautiful, walk smart, stay happy. Men are more attracted to what they see more than what they hear. I once read an article that said the easiest and simplest way to attract a man into your kingdom is to smile more often. That's a fact and there's nothing more. I don't think I can walk up to a lady that's always frowning and looking so mean. A charming smile give the guy a little more confidence to walk up towards you. You don't need to work yourself up. Men aren't that hard. They just look harder, but they are straightforward creatures. One of the things I got while growing up was, above all things, you must learn to love yourself first. When you love yourself, you can attract love. Loving yourself has a lot to do with looking attractive. Number two, have a high self-worth. This aspect is really tricky. You have to be careful and not go overboard. Self-worth has more to do with knowing what you stand for. It has a lot to do with how you carry yourself. This is one thing you must know for sure. Now, what is that? You must understand that you're the catch. You're beautiful, you're attractive, smart, and you're good enough. Once you know this, you don't have a problem. You wouldn't have any problem attracting the man that you want. Don't forget what I mentioned earlier. Be careful and don't go overboard. Be subtle and let him know that you're interested in him, but give him enough of a rope to chase you. Because that's really what he wants to do anyway. He wants to feel like, listen, I walked up to you and I made you go out with me. That's what most men are looking for. When, you're a little bit too easy, it tends to get a little bit more held back and resistant. And for a lot of us men, we don't really like that too much. Some girls actually take this the wrong way. They act all proud and too big that the men really like them, that the man that really likes them get the idea that they are too much. So know yourself. Understand where you stand. Know what you want. Know what you like. Then you can attract any man you want. Number three, kindness. Some women generally find it hard to open up. The only alternative they got is working on themselves and showing signs of affection. One of the secret ways you can attract your man is a simple word: kindness. Just be kind. Don't be too kind that you start doing more than yourself because you want him so bad. Just be a normal count. You don't have to go overboard with the kindness. Just let him know that, you can open up and be vulnerable too. Help him with little stuff that he's in dire need of. Do small favors for him. Don't forget, you're an attractive woman with a high self-worth who is kind to him. That's a kick-ass resume, if you know what I mean. He's definitely going to give you a lot of thought when you come with that. You're kind, you're considerate, you could do small things, and maybe in his mind, he's looking at it like, she can handle this. Maybe she can handle other things. But everything is small steps. You don't want to open up to you don't want to open up to him too much, too soon. Number 4, be playful. Most times, guys like someone who's free with them. When you're too serious, that would have the impression you are not interested. Be more youthful. It doesn't matter how old you are. I didn't say you should become a youth. Of course, we all know that age goes up and never down. Play with him. Make eye contact. touch his hands in a lovely way, show him signs, play with your hair, and so on. Men are more attracted to women who are like this. Someone they can spend time with when they are less busy. Being free with him will make him want to come back for a few more meetings. I told you earlier, men are simple. Invite him in. There are reasons why this comes last. This is because sometimes you'll be too sensitive too. That God may not be interested in you if you take yourself too seriously. And that's a problem. So inviting him in might be a risk. Still, it is a secret way of attracting a man you like. Invite him into your personal space. When you see a guy, you look like when you see a guy, you are looking at him from the corner of your eye in a restaurant. Make eye contact with him. It may actually be because you are with your friends. That's why he hasn't come to talk to you. Give him some room. Walk across to his side and order something or do something else, but don't show or order something, do something else, but don't show too much interest towards him. Be careful because men are known to take advantage of a woman when they have the opportunity to. It's just an instinct that us as men have. In conclusion, I'm guessing you never heard any of these secret ways mentioned in this content. Maybe you heard, but you never tried them out. I can boldly tell you that these secret ways have helped many women find their men in a short period of time. Stay attractive, develop high self-worth, be kind, but not stupidly generous. You don't want to, get a credit card for him and, start paying for this and that and the third when you first met a guy. You definitely will be taken advantage of. Be playful, and lastly, invite him into your personal space, slowly but surely. I wrote that ebook because, I have a lot of friends and, definitely family who are females. I have sisters and stuff like that. That, they ask me about, why men do this and why men do that and why do certain guys do this and why do certain guys do that. And, quite frankly, a lot of times, it's not even the fact that this guy did this and this guy did that. It's really about how you invited this man into your personal space and how this man perceives you. Was you too friendly with him? Was you too generous with him? All ahead of time? Did you really listen to what he was saying? Sometimes you have to really pay attention to him, and you could kind of read him to a certain extent. And then when you make a guy feel comfortable, you could feel him out. You could tell if you look at the right signs if this guy's for you or not. And you can't force a situation. If the guy's not for you, you could have a good understanding. You can still be friends maybe, but you have to move on for somebody who does fit your taste. Perfect example, if you're looking for a family with kids and, a white picket fence, big house, and all the other things, you have to date with a purpose. You can't date a guy just to dating. He's a nice guy. He has a nice physique. He's cute, handsome, and stuff like that. But it's not really going anywhere. Then you're wasting time. And, he's wasting time too, dating you if his goals are different from yours. So it cuts the same way, but as a woman, you have to know exactly what you want. And when you get that guy, you have to know how to express yourself to him in a way where he will love to be with you without you going overboard. And only having a high self-esteem would get you there. You don't have to insult him. You don't have to ridicule him. You don't have to put him down or anything like that. But knowing your self-worth will go a long way. And that man will value you even more. Because you do know your self-worth. And he will respect that to the utmost. Next I'm going to go over, boyfriends and Valentine's Day. I think that's very important. You know, I get this question a lot as far as what's the perfect gift to give special man in my life, and you know my I've had girlfriends in the past where they gave me some great gifts, and it really made a difference because me as a man, you're not expecting much from your significant other as far as like gifts and presents, but it's always a good thing if they could give those gifts and presents. So I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna say a few things about that. And I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it. Another couple of minutes and me get this whole thing together. Boyfriends and Valentine's Day. You hold the cards. Valentine's Day only comes around once a year, and if you are in a committed relationship, you might want to make it special. You can leave hints for him about things you want him to buy or do for you when it comes to your boyfriend and Valentine's Day. You hold all the cards. There are things that you can choose to give as gifts for your boyfriend at Valentine's Day. You could choose the time honored tradition of cooking a romantic dinner with wine, candlelight, soft music playing in the background, and sexy lingerie in the bedroom. Even though this is a traditional way to express your feelings on this very special day, it might be worth trying something new this year. The most important thing is to keep in mind when giving a gift to anyone is to make sure it fits their personality of that person. It can be very disappointing for the recipient to receive a gift that says the giver does not know who they are at all. If they will not buy it for themselves, do not buy it for them at all. That's one of the things to where if somebody really knows you and they get you, it's not about really the amount of money you spend. It could be something simple as a keychain that reminds them of a vacation you both went on, and or a T-shirt or something like that. It's a thought that that person is going to wear it, and that person is going to appreciate it. That goes a long way. Make sure that you put some thought into the Valentine's gift. What I mean? You give to the special man in your life. Make sure it shows him that you care enough to really know him, and make sure you get something that he really is going to like. If you have been together for a while and it's jewelry, then jewelry is not out of the question. Get him something that can get engraved. A ring or ID bracelet would be a great idea. Even everyday things such as money clips, pens, letter openers are good ideas. It is something that he uses every day. Every time he takes it out, he wears it, he's going to think about you. Surprise him with an itinerary for the week's vacation, for a week vacation. Or even if it was a long weekend, to some place you both will enjoy. or make it special just for him to go along because you love him. You could do something that you both could enjoy, or you can make that weekend basically about him that he's going to enjoy, but you could go along to something like a fishing trip, or going away to a resort that he likes, but you could enjoy it too. Buying tickets to a game, to his favorite sports team that maybe front row, or just being there, you know watching his favorite team play is an excellent idea. Go cheer right along with him. Take a lot of pictures. Keep the program in a ticket stub. And when you get back, make a scrapbook of the experiences and present it to him. Creating memories is one of the most important aspects of any relationship. If your boyfriend likes beer and a good steak, why not enroll him in the month? Why not enroll him in the month club for either one of you? That's one of the things to where that that's a great gift that I didn't get. I'm not really into steak or anything like that, but I definitely had a girlfriend that enrolled me into a lot of music subscriptions, and and I would get these books and these book clubs because I'm definitely a science fiction fan, and every other month different books from my favorite author will come, and that's a great gift. I still that was years ago. I still keep it up myself because I'm definitely going to read those books. And she's not here physically anymore. What I mean? So, unfortunately, she did pass, but I keep that up because that's just my memory of her. But you can do something like that to make him feel special, and you know, those things mean a lot because it goes a long way, and it's something that you actually to that he's really gonna appreciate. Do not stress about boyfriends at Valentine's Day. There are many creative ideas to pick from, and it's some of the ones that I have listed don't or won't work. Then do your best to think of some of your own. Just tap into your creative side. He will love you for it. And even like I said, even if it's something that if you're not a great cook, you could hire a chef. Um, Even if you don't have a lot of money, right now, a lot of folks is going through a lot of joblessness and lack of funds and lack of they have a lot of other things on your mind. But you could definitely make it feel special. And like I said, as men, we are simple. We don't need much to make us smile. We don't need much to make us happy. We don't need much to make us feel like we're wanted. Simple things go a long way with us. So take that into account. And we still got some ways to go. But with Valentine's Day, or not even Valentine's Day, but just any day where you feel like you in that feeling to where that you want to make him smile, it would definitely go a long way. So keep that in mind when you want to make that man in your life feel special. It feel great. What I mean, he'll cherish it for a long time. And, next, I'm gonna go over dating a coworker. Now, this you know is one of those things to where that I'm not really a big advocate of dating a coworker, but I have done it, and I don't recommend it. Even though that situation did work out for both of us, I don't recommend it for the simple fact is, to be at a job is all about being professional. It's not about really dating a coworker because things could go any different way. You could take things the wrong way. She could take things the wrong way, and you're there for work. But we all know the way things are. A lot of people meet their significant other in the workplace. So it does happen, even though I'm totally against it. It's not really about me or what my opinion is. It's all about what happens. So I'm gonna go over that. Let me pull this up. Gonna read some things that I wrote. I wrote about it not too long ago. So you know, it's one of my is dating a coworker. This article is one of my great article. Um, Love is blooming for you at the copy machine, but you do have some concerns about dating a guy you work with. Well, I have some advice you should be considering when dating one of your coworkers. I'm not an expert or anything like that, but these are some of the things where um, that I've learned and picked up throughout the years. This is one of the things you might experience as a woman when you thinking about dating that coworker. These are some of the things that you might experience. So be aware. The chase. The chase is always the most thrilling part of the relationship. You're getting to know somebody new, and you want to catch him and make him yours. It is a challenge on every level, so begin by dressing nicely. Wear some perfume, maybe even a sexy pair of heels. While this is a normal thing to do at a bar or a club, expect to get teased by other coworkers who may know you better and suspect something is up. Why? Don't you dress Why don't you dress up? They will say. Who are you trying to impress? Believe me, people notice. If you have no problem sharing the fact that you have a crush, more power to you. Just remember, if you begin dating this guy and things go wrong, your office friends are going to gossip about you. Even if you try to keep things private, they will gossip. Office friends notice everything. Remember, gossip is much more intriguing than work. Work is usually boring. You're doing the same thing every day. So especially your girlfriends is going to be catty. No one really wants to work, but they love to talk. And at the very least, if you keep things to yourself, for the most part, your office friends can't run back to your boyfriend and tell them you told everyone that he is lousy, that he's a lousy kisser. And that's one of the things where, when I was dating my ex at the job, any issue that we had, I would hear it tomorrow. I would hear it the next day at work. And she was scheduled to be at work maybe a half hour before me. And we worked in different departments at the time. But everybody would go to the cafeteria. So before I got to the cafeteria, she was scheduled to go, her break was maybe an hour before me. So by the time I got into the cafeteria, the chef would know, the cook would know, the cafeteria workers would know. And I'm thinking people that didn't really know me, but because she talked and went from one thing to another, and it doesn't matter how it is, you're the second party, especially if you're not the talkative one, people are going to assume that you had a drag out argument, and it could be just a simple disagreement. And it wasn't an argument. I just didn't want olives in my salad, but she turned it into a big deal to where that, you know, she spent time making this dinner for me, and I don't appreciate it. And we ate, and we still had a good time the rest of the night. But it turned into something big, and that's something to where that it's like you have a bunch of Dr. Phils at the office, and none of them know anything, but they just making an assumption about how things went based on what she said. And it was just one of those things where before you know it, I moved on to a different, same job, but different location. And, we agreed not too long after that to kind of break things off. And that was the best thing for me because, I'm not the type of person, I like to keep a relationship as private as possible. And she just wasn't really about that. But, I blame me in a lot of ways because I should have never been in a relationship with her anyway. It's always better to be professional and keep the job first. Romance is after, way after. Don't mess your money up by trying to have an office romance. It never works out, even if it turns into something good. People don't like to see two people doing better than them or seemingly doing good. They're gonna try to sabotage that. So I experienced that also in that same relationship also. You know, that person would rather listen to their friends and be with them. And me as a man, I was like, listen, this is how I feel. You could be with them. I'm not down with that. But let me get back to this article. There's also part of the chase that involved that a wonderful heavy flirting. Just keep in mind that you and your guy are at a place of employment. See? Sneaking some affection in the break room, while exciting, can cause you embarrassment if someone catches you. Take into consideration as well that the most companies monitor email. So before you know it, all your information is out there because people, can be careless when their mind is on love and, bliss. So before you send him anything provocative, any provocative photos of yourself, a photo is a guy seeing them, or even worse, your boss. So, your guy might be seeing them, but remember, at every job, every company, they scrub the emails pretty much at the end of the day or at the end of the week. So they're going to go through everybody's emails to see if any compromising information are there, contacting a compare inappropriately, that nature. The romance. Once you catch your man and you become a certified couple, the office can be a fun place. What is better than taking lunch breaks together? Just keep in mind that when you date someone outside of work, you probably have conversations on dates about your day and people you work with. But when you date somebody you work with, you already know everything about his day. And you already knows how Julie from a tripped and fell downstairs. To keep the conversation level and excitement in your relationship is up, it takes more effort than normal. Be prepared to add some spark to the relationship early on so that things don't get too dull. Very important. You're seeing this person at night, you're seeing this person in the day, there's no lag time. You guys could get tired of each other quick because you keep bumping into each other. So that's another thing too. I really didn't go through that much because me and that person, worked in different departments. We would meet up one time throughout the day, but we worked at different departments. So really, people at first didn't really even know that we were seeing each other. And, that was the best thing. The lover's quarrel. The hardest lesson I learned as I've dated coworkers, or as I dated a coworker, that you must learn to keep your disputes out the workplace. Running into your boyfriend's office, screaming at him for not calling you last night, slamming his door shut is going to send someone wanting attention your way. If your boss catches wind of this, you might be told you need to control your behavior. And you may even get written up if something happens enough times. In the end, you look like a fool in front of your boyfriend as well as the entire floor who witnessed the episode. And people upstairs will talk too. Remember, gossip travels fast. If you do something great at the job, that's okay, but gossip travels fast. So you don't want to, you want to learn how to control yourself. You want to learn how to control your anger. That's very important, especially at the job. Like I said, being professional is the most important thing at the job. Not having an emotional fit, not carrying on and, going on a tangent in front of people and, God forbid you use a profanity. That's another thing that could, really mess things up. And you don't want that. You don't want that at all because that's something to where that you're definitely going to get fired or at least reprimanded in a very serious way. And, we all need our money, so you definitely don't want to do that. Lastly, but not least, consider that what will happen if you two will break up. Do you have to work with him and get your projects completed? If so, this will make for some stressful situations. Plus, getting over love isn't easy when that person sits right next to you every day. If he starts dating someone else, you are going to know about it. Nothing is worse than that. It takes a brave, strong personality to date a coworker. Be sure you can handle it before you start on a copy machine and push that button to your heart. Like I said before, it's one of those things to where that you have to know what you're doing. You have to have a strong sense of self. You have to be one of those people to where that, you don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm gonna date this person, I'm gonna be with this person, and I don't care what anybody says. This person is who I'm interested in, and it doesn't really matter. And for some it works, for a lot it doesn't. You know, I wouldn't recommend it, but if it's something that you want to do, that's great. And if it works out, I wish more power to you. But it's just one of those things to where it's not worth the risk, in my humble opinion. It's just not worth the risk. Um, I want to go over. I want to go over some other things as far as dating, because basically, I want this channel to basically be about dating and giving women tips about men too, but giving mostly women tips about dating and different subjects, because I get these questions a lot from my family. I don't know, why they come to me a lot. I don't know if they feel like I got all the answers, but I've been through a lot as far as relationships with women, and mostly for the most part, it's been good. I've had one, nah, I've had one, bad relationship. Nah, I had two. That really, that really was something else. But for the most part, I'm doing pretty good out here, and it's one of those things to where I have a lot of lessons, even though I'm not that old, but I'm at the age where I could look back and say, like, man, I can't believe I survived that. So, I'm gonna go over a few more. And so, just bear with me, and I'm gonna. Now, getting dumped, we all don't want to get dumped, but unfortunately, we all have been dumped, and coming from a man's perspective, it's not cool or anything like that, but it's expected. I think the advantage that a man has is that we know that it comes with being out here, and is one of those things to where that it really doesn't matter who you are. Nobody is immune from a heartbreak or bad times, anything like that from the opposite sex. So it's just one of those things. And so I'm just gonna go over some tips to be like to really emphasize what you should do if he dumped you. Here's some things that you could do. Going through a breakup is one of the worst things that we could go through. You can, however, take small comfort in knowing that you are not alone. Yet all of the feelings you have make it can make it hard to cope. That's normal too. Even if you have negative feelings towards your ex-boyfriend and you're saying he dumped me, you want to somehow move on with your life so you can return to some sense of normalcy. The main thing to keep in mind is that a breakup, no matter how awful it is only a temporary thing. It's a single moment in time. When you think about it, it's the actual amount of time you spent, when you actually think about it, the amount of time the breakup lasted took much less. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take much less time out of your life when you sit back and you think about it. Why spend so much time today worrying about what's really nothing more but a brief flash? You have your whole life ahead of you, but you can't enjoy your life now if you're living in the past. Now that you have a better perspective on what a breakup means, you have a decision to make. You have to decide whether you want to work on things after he dumped you, or if you just want to get used to having him in your life. It's not a decision you can take lightly. Trying to get him back means you're going to have to invest some time working things out. And there's always a possibility he won't be interested in you. If that happens, you have wasted your time on something that wasn't going to happen to begin with. However, most relationships can be saved. And it may only feel happy once the two of you are back together. So basically, if you want to get back with that person, you have to decide if you really want to get back with that person and if it's worth it. A lot of times it's not, but a lot of things that couples break up over is very minute a lot of times. So, if you're willing to put in the work, and if he's willing to put in the work, you can make it happen. It's no guarantee. Moving on with your life is always an option too. The downside is that you might spend the rest of your life saying things like, he dumped me, so I let him go. But I wonder what would happen if I had only tried. They are the kind of thoughts that can haunt you for a very long time. And that's one reason why moving on may not be the best option for you. But by moving on, you will be living in the present and focusing on your own future. A future where you can create on your own terms. It won't be an easy decision, and it shouldn't be. After all, if you put your heart into something and you really cared about this man, and out of the blue this man let you go, it could be a traumatic experience. And you have to do whatever you need to do to go through a lot of self-therapy. Do that. But it's going to be worth it in the end when you do come up with a decision to either be with him or let him go. Your decision that you make, whether you want to stay with this person and work it out, or you want to go, will affect the rest of your life. But also would affect the life of your ex as well. Whatever path you ultimately choose, it's a good idea to get the additional help from those who have experience in the area to show you how to do it successfully. By making a decision, no matter what it is, you will be regaining control over your life. And that's always a good thing, especially after a breakup. Whatever decision you make, if you want to stay with this man or if you want to go, make sure it's a decision you're happy with. That's the most important thing, a decision that you are happy with. If you're not happy with that decision, but you still want to be with this guy, you will be unsatisfied because that's something that you didn't want to do to begin with. So you have to know what you want before anything. And you might be wondering, will I ever even get over this guy? I'm going to get into that now. Being dumped, will I ever get over it? Being dumped is never any fun. And if you find yourself saying being dumped, you know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Right now, you may be wondering if and how will you ever get over it. And to make matters worse, you may be questioning whether or not you will ever find love again. And while the situation might seem really bad now, there are certain things you can do to make it better. Right now, you have a decision to make. You can either live in a fantasy world or you could deal with the reality. The fantasy world is that you pretend nothing happened. And we all could live in that world, but that's not feasible to do that. That your ex still loves you with all of his heart. And that they will come crawling back to you once they are able to plead, once you are able to plead your case. That's hogwash. Sorry. But while those thoughts may give you some comfort, they will not help you move forward. No. What you need is to be real and be steeped in reality. The first step is facing reality and be completely honest with yourself. That means be honest with your ex, honest with yourself, and be honest about the relationship. Nobody is saying that this will be easy, but it is necessary if you're going to move on and find peace within yourself. You have to know exactly what the problem surrounding your relationship was before you could have any chance of fixing it. And you simply can't say if you're deluding yourself. You simply can't do it if you're fooling yourself and you're not dealing with the issue that made you guys break up to begin with. You have friends and family, be sure to go to them for support. However, you should consider increasing the size of your support network. This can include a counselor, a psychiatrist, clergy, or even somebody else willing to help you. Again, going through a breakup isn't easy. But getting help and support from people that care about you will make things a lot more difficult and a lot less stressful. He dumped me, quote unquote. Maybe a phrase that keeps running through your head, but that's not helping either. So you need to do with whatever you can to stop that voice from playing in your head. It will only make things worse, very worse. Not very worse, more worse. Go over with your friends if you have. Go over to your friend's house and have some fun. There's no need to feel guilty about having a good time without your ex. After all, they are your ex, which means that you have no say in what they do with their free time anymore. Just like they have no say in what you do with your free time anymore. Getting a new hobby or even volunteering are all good options, or getting your mind to think about different things. Be patient. The pain of a breakup will be at its absolute strongest immediately after it happens. Then as time goes on, it will bother you less and less. There is no substitute for time, but it can work wonders. So look ahead to the future and know there will come a time when the sting of splitting up with your ex-boyfriend won't be that strong. It may be hard to believe right now, but there are millions of people before you who found that time really was on their side when it's all said and done. Going through a breakup is one of the hardest things you could do. Because a lot of times you might feel like you did everything right for this man. And this man was my soulmate. How can he treat me like this? And, if you're really honest with yourself, you could look at some things and say that, you know what, I could have supported him in this. I could have done this. I could have done that. but we don't all have a crystal ball to see what's going to happen in the future. You could do all you can for a person, and that person still might break up with you with no regards to your feelings. Another thing too, a lot of people break up for their own insecurities. You know, that person might feel like, I can't support you or I can't do anything for you. And a lot of times it's not even personal. One of my cousins' husband broke up with her, for the simple fact that he called his dream job, and he knew she would not support him in that career move. He was gonna move from California back to Baltimore, and she loved it out there in California. They originally moved out there to, her family's from out there, and they had a brief separation, but with more talking and more communication, she came around, and she decided to move back. She decided to move to Baltimore with him, to be with him, and they're still married to this day. But they had a brief separation, and he wanted to break up because he was like, "Listen, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to be making well over 6 figures. We can have a big house. We can really settle our family. We have nothing out there in California. It's overcrowded, on and on and on and on." And he loved California too. But the opportunity for them to move ahead was too great as far as financially, professionally. He was going to make more than enough to where that, she has a great job out there in California, or had a great job out there in California. But that move to Baltimore would have really set things straight. Would have really helped them to save the 2 girls through college, on and on and on. So things like that, where, my cousin and his wife, they were there at the time, were married for over 10 years. And things like that can happen. Could took her completely off guard, and, she said some things and he said some things, and it went left, but they worked it out. And, that's a testament to them, but it's a testament to where that just because that person's pulling away, or that person's saying that, I don't want to be with you, you got to get that person to communicate with you, if you care enough for them to be honest with you, to say exactly what happened. And a lot of times you can work it out with that person. Sometimes you can't, a lot of times you can. So keep that in mind. You don't want to just throw things away, especially if you build a house, you have a career, you have kids involved. Those things matter to a lot of people, to the majority of people. And you just don't want to play with those things. So keep that in mind. So, I hope the messages in this video will help you go forward and find a guy that really values you, find that man that you value, and, could go forward to have a fruitful relationship. I don't think, for the most part, it's harder now. I just think that our expectations are out of whack. I think for me personally, everybody's relationship is different in how they look at things. You're a different person, completely different from the next man, and that woman is completely different from the next woman. You can't keep on comparing yourself to other people because your circumstances are different. You're an individual. You're going to go through different things. And you have to encourage yourself and know that, listen, don't take everything personal. Everything ain't for everybody. And just because it worked for this person doesn't mean it's going to work for me. And vice versa. Just because these 2 people broke up and they can't make it right, don't mean that I'm going to break up and I can't make it right with the person I'm with. And that's one of the things to where I see a lot. If you're having a problem with this person, let me give you an example. I had a situation not too long ago where a family member of mine was going out of the marriage and sneaking around. I happened to find out, and it didn't change my view of the person, anything like that. But the person asked for my advice. I said, listen, wooty wooty woo. You know, my girl found out. She thought I was cheating because that happened to be my cousin, and he was doing what he was doing. I was like, listen, that has nothing to do with me. What he got going on, that has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, I'm not going to judge him. He came to me. He said what he had to say. But I could just give him advice. But he's grown. He's older than me. So I'm not going to go to him and tell him, you need to be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. And on and on and on. I'm not going to do that. His wife found out. And come to find out, she knew already. And she encouraged him to go out there and cheat. And I was like, wow, she couldn't have sex no more. I don't know what kind of condition she had, but when she had intercourse, it hurt her. That happened after they had their third kid. She introduced him to the girl. It was almost like a younger version of her, but it was between those two. My girlfriend happened to see, I guess, my cousin shopping with this young lady, and it was very handsy towards each other. And my girl called me and was like, so and so and so, you won't believe who I bumped into, this and the third. And she told me, and I said, listen, you don't know what's going on, but I guess we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna meet up with him this weekend, and he brought it up, and he basically told me, I said, listen, brother, whatever you want to do, that's on you, and I'm not gonna judge you any less. What I mean, you still cool with me, and his wife was okay with it. Some people have a problem with that. Me, I'm kind of 50-50 with it. But if it's cool with them, it's cool with them. Who am I to judge that? So it's many different variables that you could see. Things like that happen all the time. You have couples who are swingers. You got couples who, they both got significant others on the side, and on and on and on. So you have that dynamic going on. And that's one of the reasons why, if a person comes to me with information, I'm not quick to judge them. I'm not quick to pry, because you don't know what's going on inside that household. When my girlfriend found out, she was surprised and shocked. But I told her, I said, I'm glad you called me, because you handled it well. And I'm glad that, you didn't call his wife or anything like that. His wife knew about it. I don't think he would have been all out reckless like that if she didn't know, because to this day he still loves her, he respects her, and he cares about her deeply. And she had this condition years come from when I found out. And he never cheated on her, but she told him, I know you got needs, you're a man at the end of the day. I know you're gonna want to have sex. I don't want to be the one to deprive you, but I have somebody that I want to introduce you to. I want to feel okay with the woman before something like that happens. I don't want you to just be out here cheating on me, and then it comes back to me, and then it's really going to be an issue. So those three had that understanding. And if it works for her, it works for him, and it works for that person, the new party. Hey, it's one of those things. So with that said, I hope some of the passages from my ebook helps you. I hope some of the things I said helps you. And I hope you go forward and find that right man. But remember, it starts with you. You have to be the woman that you need to be for yourself, and being happy and kind, and being inviting, having an inviting attitude, but not too inviting, will work wonders for you and that significant other, that man that you hoping to find. So, with that said, I wish you all the luck, and definitely confident that you're going to find that great guy that you really that you really deserve once you implement what you need to implement and fix what you need to fix within yourself. You go out there and find any guy you want, who you feel like you want to spend time with. So with that said, wish you all the best. I look forward to definitely making more videos about this subject because I have a lot of things to talk about, and definitely gonna get interested as time goes on. So take care.